an interesting thought for the day. You know, people often ask, why should I bother training? And the simple answer is, well, to prepare for the eventuality of chaos or violence. You know, I like the term chaos myself. And people, you know, smarter people will reference ideas like how so many, you know, reputed black belts have been defeated in fights by simple bouncers that were just experienced at their job and things like that. And it is true that in many cases a trained person will fail in a survival scenario where an untrained person does not, because it's not the fault of the moves they've learned. It's not that their moves don't work. It's they haven't trained the psychology of it. Because you got to realize that when you're training for a fight, you're training for an extremely high stress situation. But if you always train in such a way that you never enter into that stressful situation, you never get to experience what's going on with all that. And so when you go into freeze mode, or when your moves don't work for whatever reason, or when your moves do work and it surprises you, it can send you into a feedback loop, or worse, a freeze. And that's when you fail. And it's all because you didn't take the time to train your stress response. All you were training was your moves. This is the problem with a lot of martial arts schools. I mean, even some of the more evolved martial arts schools only teach you movements and, you know, for lack of a better term, cardio. And that's a bad deal. It's not the purpose of your training. The purpose of your training is to enhance your neuromuscular response to stress and to adapt your psychology to handle stress. It's the whole point of it. It is stress management. So when you're looking at well, why should I train? Look at it as a sense of, I am training my neuromuscular system, I'm training my psychological system to enhance my stress response. And if the instructor you're working with, if the school that you're attending, you know, if your training partner is not facilitating that, it's time to find a new place. Now, if you're not interested in the stress response, if you're not interested in survival, if you're only interested in, you know, sport or forms or better health, then by all means do what you've been doing, because that's fine. Just don't expect it to serve you in a high stress response. The fact is that you do not rise to the occasion when the shit hits the fan. You regress to your lowest level of mastery. And your lowest level of mastery, generally speaking, is swinging away like an ape, or freezing and shitting yourself. Hopefully you swing like an ape, or you run away. It's a lot better than freezing. Nothing is worse than freezing. Close second is the feedback loop, which is a type of freezing. So get into the habit of training your stress response. Train to understand that painful things are coming at your body, that you may have to deal with a broken arm. I'm not saying go and break your arm just so you can feel the experience. There are ways to deal with, you know, mind-numbing pain so that you can adapt your response without actually damaging yourself. There's a lot of neural techniques and a lot of pain compliance techniques, pressure points and stuff, that when applied properly won't do any actual damage but will trigger your pain centers. But make sure that your training is serving you, because if your training is not serving you, it is not doing you any good. Learning to punch and kick is great, but make sure that you have the mindset to go along with it. That's all I got for you, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Good journey.